first thing I want to talk about is how I feel like the show spent the entire time trying to absolve themselves of any kind of responsibility for embarrassing Becca. Like, I felt like they kept on, hey, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hey, Salamina. I felt like they kept on, reaching out to Becca or reaching out to the ladies on Arie's season to make sure that they all were reassuring the audience that it was okay that they filmed her heartbreak on national TV. And hey, True Blessings. Hey, J-Popster. For me, I didn't feel like it was okay. And I didn't like how they kept on making it about them doing what they needed to do or showing the fairy tale that not everybody gets to see. I understand that, but it's also a TV show, and you guys also had the responsibility to protect someone on your show who opened herself up to you guys. And that bothered me throughout the whole show, that they continued to just check in with people to make sure that they all knew that it was okay what they did to Becca, because it wasn't okay. And I felt like even with them checking in on her, I felt like you were asking someone at their job, how's it going, in front of their boss. Like, I don't think she's really going to say how hurt she was in front of Chris Harrison or on the Bachelor stage when they are giving her the opportunity of being the Bachelorette. So I was just disappointed in that, because I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't real. It wasn't natural to me. I didn't like how they spent so much time trying to make sure they didn't look bad when they should have spent the entire episode apologizing to Becca. That's what I felt like should have happened, and it bothered me. It bothered me so much. Me just checking with everybody. Yes, Jess, they did force those girls because it was so staged. It was so staged because Chris Harrison was just like, I took a lot of heat. He kept on saying that he took a lot of heat from the viewers. Okay, so what? You're still a millionaire. You still have a bankable job and on TV. So who cares if you're getting a couple nasty comments? You were a part of something that you knew was wrong. I feel like they all knew going into it that it was wrong, but they wanted the views. So they said, okay, we're just going to go with it. But the fact that he kept on, even when talking to Becca, saying how hard it was for him. I'm like, dude, you were not dumped on national TV. So I couldn't sit with it. Like, they knew that they were wrong, and they kept on the entire episode trying to absolve themselves of any kind of fault, when it's like, listen, you're making a TV show. I get it. Like, I understand the decision that they made. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right one. So that just, I couldn't take that. I couldn't take that. Yes, thank you, Jess. They knew it wasn't okay. And they did tell those girls, hey, Zizzy, hey, Elle. And I felt like they did, because even when Chris was talking after he was saying that he got in, he took a lot of heat, he goes to Kendall. So Kendall, what did you think? And Kendall, who I was disappointed in with that rehearsed line of, no, I think you needed to show that. I think it was okay. Like, you should have done that because we the viewers needed to see it. No, Kendall, you want to stay booked in Bachelor Nation, and I get it. So I'm not mad at them. I just felt like Kendall, I felt like she was kind of better than that, but I understand. I am actually shocked that baby Becca, the youngest person on that show, was not doing what they told her to do. She was not saying that it was okay. She was not giving the PC answers. She was telling the truth. That's why she was getting so much applause from the audience, because she was the only one who was really telling the true tea. She was not trying to skirt around anything. She was like, Lauren shouldn't take him back. You know what I mean? She was just like, it wasn't okay to watch that. I felt uncomfortable watching her get dumped. Even Carolyn said that, but she kind of tried to double back on her comments, and I was just like, stand in your truth. It's okay. If they won't hire you from this and you don't want to be a part of something that is so fake and produced, but they want to. So I understand. It's a check. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, I just don't think that they should have spent 2 hours trying to make themselves look good when they literally filmed a girl getting dumped by her fiance on national TV. Own it. That's all I'm saying. Own the fact that you film this girl's heartbreak for views. Just own it and move forward. I would have respected Chris Harrison more if he would have stood there for just a few seconds the opening of this episode and just said, you know what? We realized that we made a mistake. We should not have filmed Becca Becca, being blindsided like that and getting her heart broken on national TV. We apologize to the Bachelor Nation. Thank you for being dedicated to this journey. Won't happen again. I would have respected that. But to sit here and just do the whole woe is me? Really? That girl got dumped by her fiance on national TV, and then it comes out that he was contacting her the same time he was supposedly engaged to her. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Many comments. They did. Yes, they did, Safari. They used her for entertainment. Yes, Jess, I knew Becca didn't want to say that, but she's the next Bachelorette, so she has to do what she has to do to keep her check. You know what, Victoria? Thank you for saying that. I'm so sick of them bringing back Jason. Who cares? His season is done. It's been done. His season was so long ago. I don't even think that... How old was baby Becca when his season came on? It was so long ago. We don't care. You keep on bringing back Jason because you want to have sympathy for Arie. And that bothers me. That really bothers me, because the thing about it is, we would not be mad at Arie if he said to Becca, I can't make this decision. I'm just not sure enough, and I want to spend more time with you outside of this show. So Becca, would you be my girlfriend? Or something like that. Or I commit to you to court you for this season to figure out and see if you are really, if we're good for each other. I would have respected him if he did that, but he got down on one knee and then blamed the pressure of the show. I would totally take that if Arie was a damn kid. Arie is 36. He was 36 when he was filming this show. He's probably 37 now. You are not a child. You are a good grown man. You have made tougher decisions. So I can't excuse him for that. And I hate that they keep on bringing Jason for us to get an understanding and sympathize with Arie. We're not going to sympathize with him. What he did was wrong. We think that it was completely disrespectful. He broke Becca's heart on national TV. He had the chance, and all of those women sat up there on that stage and said he had the opportunity to break up with her behind closed doors. He chose the cameras. We have no sympathy for Arie. Sorry. And stop bringing back Jason. I don't care that he changed his mind or whatever. But what I do remember about that season is that when he changed his mind, y'all did not film it. We found out about it after the final rose, and there was no audience there. To me, somebody else mentioned that it was very classy, and I agree with that. I felt like that was a classy way to do it. This way of breaking up with Becca and then going back to Lauren, to me, that was trashy. There was no class behind it at all, and I'm not here for it. You can't convince me that was right. Yes, no. Yes, Victoria, Arie was trying to play victim. He was trying to play victim the entire episode, and then he kept on saying to Becca, well, I kind of told you about it. I let you know that, I wanted to talk to her, and who cares? You're engaged to this woman. That is a different level at that point. So trying to like soften the blow, and I felt like he was trying to tell Becca that she should have known that this was coming, and that bothered me. That really did bother me, because she doesn't know what's coming from you unless you let her know. She is not a mind reader. She does not have to she's known you for not that long, so she doesn't really know your behavior yet. But what she does know, let me tell y'all something. Did y'all read that People interview with Becca? Because she told the tea. She said that before he dumped her, he turned off his phone. So she knew something was up, because she couldn't reach Arie. Like, they were talking every day up until that, seeing each other, traveling, doing trips and everything. In the meantime, he was still contacting Lauren. He was in baby Becca's DMs. He is so grimy and trifling. And then the day before you break off the engagement, you turn off your phone. I think he blocked her number, so she was just like, I couldn't reach him. And I'm like, so you had her number. They could have talked before he got the cameras involved. That is everybody's problem with Arie. Nobody is dragging him for having second thoughts. This is a huge decision. We all know going into this, watching this TV show, that these relationships probably won't last, because they're being cultivated in like this, I was going to say aquarium. They're being cultivated in something that is not normal, right? So we understand that this may not last, this may not work. Frankly, as a viewer, I'm not expecting a proposal. And I think they need to take that off the table, because it's forcing things like this. But I think they will never do it, because if a dude changes or a girl changes her mind, you get stuff like this. So it's, for them, it's always a win-win, because although a lot of people didn't like it, they still viewed in, you know what I mean? People are still talking about it. So, I mean, I would love for them to take it off the table. I don't think that making a proposal the end game is the best for getting true love. So I understand. I really understand Arie. I don't like his ways. He was grimy about it. The fact that he was still talking to other women when he was engaged to her, and he was so trifling that he was talking to other women that she knew. And Lauren is trifling with him, because why? The moment Arie contacted you, you should have been like, you're engaged. Block, delete, and move forward. We wouldn't even be here. But you so grimy as well that you wanted to hear from him. I'm not falling for that, oh, I'm in love with him, because word on the street is that you were a groupie, okay? That you were stalking him at some racer games, and then you found the Bachelor or whatever, and then signed up for that. So let's tell the truth and shame the devil, sweetie. You are not innocent in this. She should have never, ever been communicating back and forth with Arie, because let me tell y'all something, guys. Let's be real here. Arie would have never dumped Becca, especially on national TV, if he knew he could not get Lauren back. He knew he could get her back because he had been talking to that heifer since she left Peru. Let's tell the truth, Arie. He's trifling. Arie and Lauren decided not to watch the finale. Why? Because guilty feet have got no rhythm. That's why. They did not want to watch that show, because they did not want to relive that whole scenario that they went through, that whole little game, that whole little setup. Because I'm telling y'all, Lauren was in on it. Lauren was in on it, because before Arie broke it off with Becca, he knew that he could go back and get her. I did not buy her opening the door and looking at him and hugging him, and this is like the first conversation that they've had. No, because anyway, Lauren refutes that anyway with when she talks about how they started to be in contact, especially since Tia broke the news, and she was just like, we were hanging out on New Year's or New Year's Eve when he contacted her. Really? New Year's Eve? You had just proposed to Becca in November? You spent the holidays with this heifer, and right before the new year, you are over there. I'm sorry, Becca, you're not a heifer. You spent the holidays with this queen, okay? And right before the new year, you contacted Lauren. You know what? Lauren is grimy enough that I don't even think that was the first time he contacted her. I really don't. I feel like they are so manipulative and slick that this was probably something that she set up, because if she was still into Arie, right? Why would she tell Tia? Why would she say to Tia, oh my goodness, Arie contacted me, what should I do? That was all a game so she could look innocent, because I guarantee you Arie had been talking to her before then. I feel like he had started talking to her right after, because he was saying that he was already dealing with a lot of emotions and not really sure about what he wanted to do. And how I feel, and I feel like I'm right, because when Chris Harrison asked, how did Arie reach out to her, she hesitated. She hesitated and she began to stutter. That's because she couldn't think of a lie quick enough, okay? That's what it was, because then she was just like, well, he doesn't have my phone number, so of course he reached out to me on social media. Why you stutter? Why you hesitate? Because he had your number. He had your number. You guys were talking the whole time. The both of them are wrong. I do not care. I think from the engagement on, Arie would have been fine if he just would have been like, I don't think I could make this decision. He would have been fine. I'm not taking the pressure from the show. Not from no 36-year-old man. I'm not. Ben Higgins back on his season could have got my sympathy. Not from no 36-year-old dude. Absolutely not. No. Safari, I don't think she has any magical powers. I think Arie is just attracted to Lauren. That's exactly what it is. And she's somebody that he can control. He cannot control Becca. That's the problem. Becca is a strong, independent woman, and Arie has been lying the entire season, saying that that's what he wants. He does not want that. He wants somebody that he can bulldoze, because let me tell you something. What Arie could not have done, let's be real, he could not have proposed to Lauren, got down on one knee, said that he wants her forever, and that's the only person he wants to be with, then decide that that's not what he wants to do, then come back to Becca, and Becca open her door to him. She would have been like, oh, hell no. No, you should have made that choice. You should have known what you needed to do. And I can't be with somebody who can't make a decision like that. And then she would have also been thinking about Lauren, because how I know that? She's still thinking about Lauren in this situation. She doesn't want people to be upset with her. She wants to protect her. She wishes her well. Wow. She a class act. It wouldn't have been me. Ha! It wouldn't have been me. I am glad that Becca is the Bachelorette. She wasn't my choice. I felt like Cien was my Bachelorette. She was my choice. If it wasn't Cien, it was Tia. However, I feel like her Bachelorette choice was made at the last minute. And I think it was made at the last minute because of how Arie did her. I know the show was already filmed, but I feel like they were filling out Cien. And I also feel like they were raising her up to be the next Bachelorette, because you didn't hear anything about any other girl besides Tien in this entire franchise. Cien, I said Tien. I done merged them together. If Cien just had TT's personality, Anyway, I feel like that was the one they were going for. But because of the backlash from them humiliating her, they gave her that crown. I do not feel like she was ever in the running, because truth be told, I love Becca. Whew, she boring. Okay, I just gotta say it. Becca is boring. I don't feel like she can hold the show. I'm glad that they are giving her interesting bachelors. And another reason why I feel like Cien was the one that they wanted to pick, because when those bachelors came out, those the men for her season, I was just like, oh, y'all picked these dudes for Cien. Ain't no way y'all picked all them brothers for Becca. No way. Those men were picked for Cien, because when the first brother came out, I was just like, listen, I'm a part of a generation that is moving this nation forward, right? But I gotta be real here. When I saw that dude, I was just like, okay, he's cute. I like him. But can Becca bring him home? I started to think about that uncle. Let me tell you something. I was just like, oh no, I don't know. Especially them two brothers that walked on that stage. I was just like, we have to be real, Bachelor Nation. We have to be real with each other, and we have to be honest. Becca can't bring them two brothers home. I don't think she can even bring them to Thanksgiving dinner. And that is the test. That is the test for interracial families. Can I bring you home for Thanksgiving dinner? And I don't know. I feel like she is open-minded, and this show and this community really pushes that forward, because they're all diverse or whatever. They're starting to get that way. And they're all in this kind of small community. You know what I mean? It's like high school or college, so you make your own rules. But then, sorry, I got coconut in my teeth. But then when you start to involve family, I just don't know. I immediately thought about that uncle when I saw that dude walk out with that 4C hair. I was like, ooh, okay. This season is going to be interesting. But in all seriousness, I feel like those dudes were for Cien, but they had to go with Becca because they had to do something, guys. They had to do something right, because they did her so dirty. I was done when they brought that abuser back to surprise her before she went on that last date or so with Arie. I didn't like that. I did not like that whole Ross thing. And then to film her just being dumped like that, I couldn't. And then not only to film her being dumped, but to also film her being dumped by somebody who did not care. Like, Arie didn't care. It was like nothing to him to break that girl's heart. And I couldn't. Yes, Harvey_100. Lauren was just like, I was just hoping he would come back to me, and just sitting there hoping that Arie would change his mind. That to me sounds like some woman who knew. I felt like she knew, because even, guys, if you look back to when Arie sent her home, she was just like, why would you, like, she was so confused. And I think TT said it. I think TT said that he was talking to both girls, making the both of them feel extremely confident, especially in the not the one-on-ones, what are those, the fantasy suites. She was saying that looking back at it, neither one of them knew how much, like, what Arie was saying and how secure he made them feel. And in saying that, oh my God, this thing is crooked. Y'all pray for me. My studio is breaking apart. Anyway, in saying that, I have to go back to Crystal. They made her the villain this season. But guys, was she the villain, or was she calling out Arie for the trash that he really is? Because Arie and Crystal didn't have an issue until he changed his mind at the last minute. She wasn't nice to those girls. You know what I mean? And I felt like Crystal was doing a lot for TV. And I also felt like a lot of her stuff was, producer prodding. I'll give her that. But we have to call it what it is. When she called Arie out and she was just like, you said one thing and then you did another. That was a setup. That was letting us know what kind of bachelor we were going to get or that we were in for. That was like, because she was just like, you said this. You said that you would do all this for us. And then all of a sudden in the middle, you just saw the other girls being sad, so you just changed your mind and you made it a date for everybody. She had every right to be upset. I think I talked about that in my review. I agree with her being upset about that because he promised her something and he took it back. And that is the kind of dude that he is. Because Arie wanted the team to win because he wanted to spend the time with those girls. But then he started thinking about the other girls and how they were feeling. And then he realized baby Becca, who he wanted to get under, was on the other team. So then he just changed the rules. That's what he does. Like, Arie is not the kind of guy, or he has shown that he is not the kind of man that knows how to make decisions. He is the type of man that makes decisions on the fly. And I'm sorry. I don't think the Lord can trust you with a freaking child. Like, you just change your mind off the fly like that. You cannot do that. You want to have babies so quickly, but you don't know how to make a decision. You can't even make a decision about a bride. Oh, guys, I'm jumping ahead. Can we talk about that proposal? I wanted to throw my television. When that dude stood up, pulled her to him, pulled Lauren, that conniving heifer, to him and said, I want to do this in front of the world, in front of this audience, and proposed to her. Wow, he's trash. Trash. Becca had just left the stage. I mean, that couch was still warm with her behind. And he proposed to Lauren on that same stage. Like, he just has no tact. He has no tact. The fact that he thought that that was the right thing to do. The fact that he thought that that audience would support that. I don't understand. I don't understand how he thought that that was okay. You, on the same stage, you were talking to the woman who you proposed to, who you dumped on national TV, and you didn't even apologize. He owned up to one thing. It wasn't the whole time he wasn't, I'm sorry, I wish I would have done. Like, I just didn't feel any remorse from him. And then you bring Lauren on the stage and you propose to her. Like, people in the audience were so confused. They were just like they didn't know if they should clap or if they should boo. Like, nobody knew what to do because it was just so, like, everybody was caught off guard. And I think the thing that I liked about Arie is the thing that I'm starting to dislike about him, because he just wasn't an interesting bachelor. He was not the bachelor that we wanted, right? So I tried to make it work so I can just, get through the season. So I latched into him just not being predictable. And I think the fact that he's not predictable is, it's a blessing in the beginning. It's also a curse, because he can't make a decision. He cannot make a decision. And then when he finally gets around to making a decision, he snatches that decision back and doesn't care about the people who are involved. He is very selfish. He is extremely selfish. And the fact that Lauren finds somebody like that attractive, I don't know how a guy who dumped you on TV, right, went with another chick, slept with her, did all these things, made all these videos and this love story or whatever with her, then contacts you while he's still with her. Because that's who he is, guys. He's so greedy. He did not break it off with Becca first and then go after Lauren. He was with Becca and he checked in with Lauren to see if he still had a shot. And then he broke it off with Becca. Because I guarantee you, if Lauren would have shut him down, he would still be with Becca. Lauren, you think you got a prize. You got the worst trash in Bachelor Nation, honey. Sorry for you. That man ain't no prize. Because you weren't his first choice. You weren't his second choice. You were his third choice. Here is why. Because he chose Becca, right? He still chose Becca when he was contacting you. The only reason why he is with you today is because you say yes. That boy would still be with Becca. He would be on People magazine covers right now with Becca. He would be announcing a pregnancy on Instagram with Becca. He chose you because you said yes. It would have been baby Becca if she said yes, because that's who he really wanted. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. He been wanted that child, but she didn't want him. He is a creep. He is a pervert. He is indecisive. He is manipulative. He is an alabaster demon. Yes, he is. It's this vegetable diet. Forgive me. Marie said this. Maybe he has no social cues. Look at his family. It seems like that family just can't make decisions about anything. I don't want to make excuses for him being awful. You know what I mean? The family is awkward. Okay, yes, they do communicate awkward. But if anything, I feel like Arie is just like his father. Because his father looked at Becca and was just like, I'll be happy with whoever he chooses. What? Excuse me? How do you say that? Like, you don't care who he brings home because you like both of us? Really, sir? They just have no tact. I feel like they're the kind of family who don't have, I feel like that family is all they have. And I think it's because they just don't have a community that supports their poor behavior. And I think and I think this whole thing happening to Arie is kind of a shock to him, because nobody has ever really said to him, this isn't okay. Or nobody that he really cared about, or not such a large amount of people. And now he's figuring it out. But then he gets people like Lauren. That's why he wants her, guys. Because she okays his poor behavior. Her accepting him back was letting him know that it was okay. What he did to Becca was okay. Sending her home and choosing Becca because she was the safe choice and she was the right choice. She misses that. See, Lauren harbors on the fact that Arie came back to her. She does not think about what he's saying to her. Becca was the safe choice. Becca was the right choice. He's telling you this, sweetie. Even his family, his mother. Let me tell y'all something. A mother, she is the strongest force in the family, especially over her son. She looked at Arie and she said that Becca is the right choice. You will never have it easy. Not in that family. That mother never chose you. That was the one who makes the decision. Yes, she was all over Lauren because Lauren is blonde and cute. And let's be real. I need to talk about this because I feel like this is what Becca fell into as well. I feel like, and I gotta be honest, I feel like that family brunette shamed Becca. Guys, I'm serious, because they fell in love with Lauren right away. Lauren said 3 words and they were just like, oh my goodness, yes. I felt like just with Arie, they looked at her and was just like, okay, this is what we want. She's perfect. Never had like really any conversation with her. And I think when the mother didn't really connect with Lauren, she was able to connect with Becca. She loved her energy. She loved the fact, I felt like for the mother, Becca had the personality and was somewhere in her life or led in a way that she wished she could lead, because the mother is more like Lauren. But when she looks at Becca, that's somebody who she hopes to be. So she wanted that for her son because that's just not who she is. And that's who she wants to be. So she saw Becca and was just like, this is the right choice. This is the way you need to go. But she knew her son was going to pick that heifer. She knew that mute heifer. But yes, I do feel like Becca was brunette shamed. I feel like this whole scenario was just like a 90s teen movie where like the brunette is trying to compete with the popular girl, because if we have to be real, in America, Lauren is the conventional beauty. You know what I mean? Becca is not. She is a beautiful woman inside and out, but considering the society, the American society, Lauren will be considered, the beautiful one. And I felt like Becca had such a hard hill to climb, because she was being compared to someone in society's eyes she could never really match, because she wasn't this small blonde, you know what I mean, who didn't have a lot of opinions. She's an opinionated, tall brunette. And that is just that is just something that we kind of, are not that's something that we're not as a society really pushed to as beauty. But somebody like Lauren is. And I felt like she kept on fighting this like cool cheerleader to get the attention of this boring jock. And I feel like with Arie, not even a jock, just a boring dude. And I feel like with Arie, Lauren is the kind of girl he wished he could get in high school, but he couldn't get her. So now he has this status of the Bachelor, and this girl who he could never get is into him. I feel like Becca was somebody he could get, and Lauren is not. And I felt like he knew that Becca was the right choice, But he wanted Lauren because for him, I think for him, he feels like the man. He got this small blonde who doesn't say much, doesn't check him. He can do whatever he wants. He can live his life, and he can still have this petite blonde on his arm, making him feel like the man. Because Arie can't do all the stuff that he's doing with Lauren to Becca. You know what I mean? Like, Lauren is up and moving to Arizona. I don't think Becca would have moved right away. I think Becca would have stayed in LA to see what her opportunities were, and Arie had a problem with that because he wanted somebody just the opposite of what he's been saying he wanted the entire season. He did not want an independent woman. He did not want a strong, independent woman. He wanted somebody who is meek and blonde and doesn't say much, lets him do what he needs to do to feel special about himself. That's what he wanted. It wasn't Becca, and he should have been honest from the start, but I think he said what we wanted to hear. That's what it is. I felt like he said what we wanted to hear, because even when I was watching the show, I was just like, I love what Arie is saying, but I don't believe it. I felt like he was putting on a front. I don't think that we fully know who he is. However, these last 2 episodes of The Bachelor is a peek into who he is. And I feel like when everything falls down, when it all falls down for Lauren, we are really going to find out who Arie is, because she's going to do a people interview and she's going to drag that boy for filth, and then we're going to find out who he fully is. I think we got a little glimpse into who he is with this nastiness that he just did in these last 2 episodes, but I don't think we got the full story of Arie, but we're going to find out. Because Lauren going to do some talking. She finally going to do some talking when this man break her heart. Because the thing is, Lauren's a fan of Arie. She's a fan. So when people get with their heroes or people that they're fans of, they let them do certain things that they would not let a regular person do. And in this instant, I kind of feel bad for Lauren, because she has been stepped on before, and she spoke to Arie about it this season. By her ex-fiancé, and I feel like she's just setting herself up to be in the same situation, which is very unfortunate. But Happy, you shouldn't have been communicating with an engaged man. Sorry for you. Oh wait, we got some tea from Robin.Nix. She said, here's the tea though. Carolyn, the one who said I know what you did, gave him a mixtape on the first night as a gift, and then he played it during the fantasy suite with Becca K. BASURA. Arie is trash. He is such trash. You know what? He was not ready. He's not ready to be a husband. He's not even ready to be a boyfriend. I feel like, you know what it is? And Dean, you better watch out, because Arie is giving us a full-on Dean. But because he has gray hair, because he's 36, and because he's a bachelor, we expected more. But Arie is acting like Dean in Paradise. He is saying whatever the women want to hear so he can get in their panties. That's what he doing. He too old for this. Like, what? At what age do you just stop being horrible? Like, we can excuse this behavior from somebody who's 16, who's just starting to learn their body and all of these things. It's just like, But it's like, Arie is a grown man. This is not okay. He is so trifling. Yes, L Brown _0. The family picked Becca. They do know what he needs, but, you know, Arie gonna do what he want. And I felt like that mom wanted Becca because that is who she wished she could be. She sees herself in Lauren, and Lauren is going to be exactly who that mom is. And so sad. Awesome Courtney, I did want CN to be the next Bachelorette. I did. We all did. And I think they thought that she was going to be the next Bachelorette, which is why Becca is going to have a lot of black men on her season. You know what? Becca was not interesting, right? And I didn't feel like, when I heard the rumors that she was going to be the next Bachelorette, I didn't feel like I wanted to be invested in her season. I felt like I was going to like watch it and just see how it goes, but not really be invested in it. But now that she's going to have a bunch of black men, I need to see how this is going to go. I need to see how CN's men are going to do on Becca's season. That's what I need to see. I think the good thing is we are going to see CN in Becca's season, because when they were all sitting on the couch, I knew that those were going to be the girls that come back. I think all of those girls are probably going to be on Paradise, but I knew that those were going to be the girls who are going to come back and like check out the men or whatever. And CN, I hope you check out all the men for your season. I really do, because this was supposed to be your season, girl. But because Bachelor did Becca K dirty, here we are. Safari underscore boatmate 4115. They said that Lauren is either a super manipulative villain or the weakest woman ever. To be honest, I think it's a combination of both. I don't think that she's like a uber villain, right? I do think that she's responsible for this. I think that she is extremely responsible for being a part of this whole folly with Arie. I think the moment she accepted communication from him when he was engaged to Becca, that's when she started off an era. That is my opinion. And I also feel like she is someone who, and it's not wrong. I don't want it to seem like I'm bashing women who like to be taken care of. We all do, right? But there are some women whose whole desire is to just be a homemaker. That's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. But I feel like with Lauren, it's not healthy for her to be walked over. And I think that she goes from wanting to be a homemaker to ending up being somebody's doormat, because what Arie did was essentially just walk all over her and do what he needed to do. He sold his royal oats with Becca and then came back to her and was just like, no, I'm not feeling this vagina. I want to see how this one works out. That's what he's doing. And she allowed it. She accepted him back, accepted his proposal. Like, it was, I'm not saying if you're really into him, you got to shut him down. You gotta make him respect you. You have to make people respect you. There are people who will push your boundaries. There are people who will take advantage of you. You have to stand up for yourself and take that power away from them over you. And I just feel bad for her because I don't think she's gonna do that. She hasn't shown that. I hope she does. And I think that's another reason why Arie tends to go for younger women. But I feel like he got burnt with baby Becca. Because he thought if I go after somebody young that I can manipulate, that I can feel like a king around because they're not in their 30s and they don't know how terrible I am just yet. I felt like that's why he went after those young women. But with baby Becca, she is so wise and beyond her years that she was able to catch his foolishness right off the bat. Right off the bat. Like, she fell for him, but I felt like, and I even said it in my reviews, I felt like she was playing the game to stay on this show. I think that baby Becca was more in love with this show than she was with Arie. I don't think she was ever in love with him, but I think she wanted to stay on the show. And I don't think that he thought for 1 second that she would expose him, but I'm glad she did. I'm glad she exposed that demon for everything that he is. Horrid. Guys, I'm so heated. I haven't even finished my smoothie. It's melting. Lauren, you're moving to Arizona to be with Arie? Oh, how sad. How sad. You know what, call me Tops? I don't think that Becca and Arie would have lasted. I do think that Becca would have done more work to stay with him, because even when he was dumping her, she kept on blaming herself. I'm sorry, coconut is everywhere, guys. Forgive me. She kept on blaming herself. She kept on saying, what did I do? And I feel like she would have tried to make it work. But Becca is strong enough that I think she would have walked away when it was time, but I think she would have tried to make it work because she's just a good person. And I think she is somebody who gets men who tries to bulldoze her, but I feel like she's been put through the ringer with Ross. She's not going to go through it again. And that's what Arie didn't like about her. Yes. Thank you, K0886. Arie does have the right to change his mind. None of us are mad at that. We're just mad that we're just mad about his execution. That's what it is. We have no problem with him going back and forth. I understand that. I personally could not make that decision, within a few weeks, especially with it being filmed and highly produced. I couldn't make a life decision like that. I'm not faulting him for that. It's just how he did it. He could have called that one woman. He could have done it differently, but he didn't. Oh, wait, awesome, Courtney. I have to listen to this podcast because she just said that the girls shade Lauren on Ben and Ashley's podcast. I have to listen to that because they were being so nice to her and saying, oh, it's not Lauren's fault. And I'm like, yes, it is. She accepted communication with him. Do you not know that Arie would have never dumped Becca if Lauren wasn't still available and waiting for him? That's why he made that decision. So she is responsible. And then I didn't like how she was two things. When Arie went back to talk to Lauren, I didn't like how she was asking him about Becca, not to see if she was okay, But I felt like she wanted to get something from him to say, like, I felt like she wanted him to say something negative about Becca so she could feel better, like trash their relationship, because she kept on asking these questions about her in a way like to match them up for him to say, but no, I wanted you, or no, but I can see my life with you. And I'm like, why does that matter? If he left her and he's at your front door, he wanted you. So if you're going to take him back, take him back. But why you got to drag the other woman? See, that's the kind of girl I can't deal with. That's the kind of girl who will find a man cheating and get mad at the woman and not at the man that promised you his heart. That's the kind of girl that Lauren is. She will never see fault in a man, but she will always see fault in another woman. And I can't rock with a chick like that, because even on the show, my second point, even on the show, when Chris Harrison asked her if she was friends with Becca, she was just like, and she never really answered. And then Chris tried to make an excuse for her, and I'm like, don't make an excuse for her, because what she's trying to do, if she admitted that she was friends with Becca on the show, then she will look horrible for communicating with Arie. So it's her own guilt that she won't admit that she was friends with her. So she'll be like, yeah, because if you say that you were friends with her, you're going to look foul. And so, her and Arie are so perfect for each other. They never want to take responsibility for any of the mess that they cause. They just want to be forever victims and try to make themselves, seem like it was really difficult to do. It's nothing difficult by saying no. Nothing difficult by saying I'm not ready. This woman told you she felt like her whole future was snatched away from her. You looked her in her eye after you got down on one knee and proposed to her. You looked her in her eye and was just like, when are we going to start making babies? Could you imagine if this heifer was pregnant and she finds this dude still DMing this other heifer? Child. Becca is better than me. I feel like I was watching this the whole time and I'm like, where are your girlfriends at? Because I know that Becca, she has to keep a certain image within the Bachelor Nation, but honey, your girlfriends don't. If you got some real girlfriends, your real girlfriends should have split up. Half of them should have went to Arie's house and the other half should have went to Lauren's house, and there should have been some beatdowns, okay? They should have been throwing hands, because what your girl clique is supposed to do is protect you at all costs. I was just like, where are her girlfriends? Now, it wouldn't have been me, and I am not that friend. I have one in my girl clique. How many are married? Child, it's only one of us, right? One of us that's married, another is about to be married. However, the one that's married, her husband could never. Not in this girl clique. We throw hands. You will not break her heart. You will not break her heart in front of us. She better not never tell us what you ever did to her, bro. Ever. He knows. He walks a fine line. He don't play with us. Becca got to get some good girlfriends. She don't need these Bachelor Nation heifers, because they trying to keep an image, so they're not going to do what they need to do. But get them chicks from Boston, them real Boston chicks. Have them go down and meet up with Arie, because you can't smack them. They can. And I feel like that's what, I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying, somebody should have read him from her crew. That's all I'm saying. But I feel bad for her. I really, really do. And I think they threw this Bachelorette at her as a way to say sorry. And I feel like the show can't say sorry enough. Thank you for making her the Bachelorette and making her feel like, she's the most beautiful girl in the world. Thank you. You also got to cut her a check. I hope her check is nice. You better not be giving her regular Bachelorette checks. Becca needs a huge bonus, because no other Bachelorette went through that. Y'all did not do that to any other girl on the show, but y'all dragged Becca for no reason. Guys, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand why they kept on, like, her edit on this show was just harsh. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And for me, if you watch my reviews, it started from her photo that they had on the website. That photo of Becca K is horrid. I did not recognize her when they started showing the women, because I could not match her headshot to what she looked like on camera. I couldn't match it. And I was like, who is this girl? And when I realized that was Becca K, I was like, what? Who on this show don't like her? Like, I just didn't understand. I felt like she just went through so much pain for nothing. Yes, Cleo, I still need Peter as the Bachelor. I don't care what y'all think. I want Peter as the Bachelor. This is why, right? I get him and Rachel had their thing. I feel like as the Bachelor Nation, we deserve a Bachelor that is fine, a bachelor that really thinks about this decision. Because I guarantee you, if this was Peter's season and he did not feel like he could propose, he wouldn't. And we would respect that. He's also fine, and we need that. Stop giving us these fugly looking dudes. We need a guy that we all want. Like, when we watch this show, we envision ourselves in that position. That's what it is, right? That's why people go to the movies. You know what I mean? I watched Black Panther. You couldn't have told me that I wasn't into Adora Majale, okay? You couldn't tell me that I don't know how to work a spear. You know, like, I was in it. I imagined myself in that movie. That's why I did so well, because so many people could see themselves in that position, could go there, right? So with The Bachelor, although it's a TV show and none of us, you know, have signed up to audition, we still like to think or see ourselves in that position with that Bachelor. Guys, only Lauren was the only one, her and Becca, the only people who could have imagined themselves with Arie. Nobody else wanted him, okay? We watched this show because we're dedicated. A lot of us watched this show because we had more fun dragging it in the comments section of a YouTube show, mines, than we did when we were actually watching it. That's what came out of this season. So for him to pull a stunt like this when he wasn't somebody we wanted, he wasn't the best bachelor, he was like the 50th choice or whatever. For him to pull this stunt like he was somebody that was sought out, dude. Boy, I bet you Peter is laughing right now. I bet you Peter is just sitting in his home, probably working on them abs, okay? Probably working on them abs, and I bet you he's just like, they should have went with me. But I think that Arie being horrible is the best thing that ever happened to Peter, because now he can negotiate. Now Peter can get the check that he asked for the first time, and the Bachelor producer said no. Now he can get it, because they got to redeem themselves with a Bachelor. They gave us somebody who was tender-eyed, boring, you know what I mean, and terrible. Like, they have to redeem themselves. So I think they're going to give us the Bachelor we told them to give us in the first place. And this is what I have to say about TV shows, especially TV shows that has a huge fan community. Listen to the fans. Listen to us, please. Like, we know what we're talking about. When everybody was asking for Peter or Eric, you should have went that way, because that's what we wanted. Stop giving us what you think is going to work, because it's not. It's not working. This didn't work for you, okay? I think that this is the last time that Chris Harrison is going to get dragged on Twitter. He was not happy about it. I'm telling you, Mother kept on talking about how he was dragged the entire episode. Like, he wouldn't let Becca get a word in. He kept on saying, well, people really took it out on me on Twitter. You know, and Becca's just like, well, I got dumped on national TV. Well, you know, the fans weren't nice to me. They were mean to me. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? But I think that now Peter can negotiate. I think this was the best thing that ever happened to him. This right here, because now he's going to get the check he wanted. He's going to get the exposure he wanted. And he's going to get that proposal clause removed from his contract. So Peter, you better thank Arie for being horrible. Sapari said, we watched him death grip kiss girls for 10 weeks for this ending. Thank you. We sat through those horrible makeout sessions to get this. Wow, we deserve better. I bet you they're not going to make this mistake again. Oh, yes. Let's talk about the guys. I forgot about that. I done got so wrapped up in this demon Arie. So let's talk about the men, okay? Like, I already knew that Becca was going to be the Bachelorette. Like, there were so many rumors. And then I'm on the West Coast. So I was on Facebook, like, talking to a friend, and then it popped up in my news feed, because I follow the Bachelor on Facebook, that Becca is the next Bachelorette. And I'm just like, guys, if you're not going to release a East Coast feed to the West Coast, don't release who the next Bachelorette is in East Coast time on your social media handles. Like, it just, I felt so gypped. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That is I found out that is a slur. And I apologize to the Romani community and travelers. I apologize. I felt cheated. I felt cheated that they would do something like that. It's like, come on. Nobody respects the West Coast when it comes to these shows. I found out. Because I've been able to find an East Coast feed for all of the shows that I review. The Bachelor is the only one. Like, ABC will not release it over to us at the same time as you guys get it on the East Coast. So unfortunately, I found out that Becca was the next Bachelorette on Facebook. Anyway, She's the next Bachelorette. I'm okay with it now. Especially because her Bachelor's child. The first Bachelor I think was cute. I forget his name. I think he was cute. He got a nice body because, baby, you could see that body through that jacket. I said, oh, brother is picking, okay? You could see them arms. Yes, Becca, enjoy, sis, enjoy. He was really, really cute. I love the accent. I don't know where he's from. I couldn't place it. He was also really adorable because he was so nervous. And I could see that. And I felt like with somebody so new to TV, I feel like he's going to be the realest out of maybe, you know, a majority of the Bachelors, because he just seems so nervous and just not somebody who is here for the cameras. And I like that for her because I feel like Becca has been cheated enough on this series. I feel like she needs to win. So I'm glad that they got, you know, some men who are not here for the cameras. The next guy, who was the next guy? The next guy, oh, I forget his name. Was it Chase? He was questionable. Chase was a little scary. He was giving me like the Joker. I don't know. But it was just his smile and his arched eyebrows. Because let me tell you something, Chase's eyebrows were arched. I was like, who do your brows, girl? I don't know about him. He kind of seemed like he was here for the cameras. It'll be interesting. Who was the next one? I think the next one was that dude. Oh, he was cute though. But that dude with the banjo and that velour suit jacket. Whoo, we got to do away with that suit jacket and that banjo. But he's cute. And so far out of the men that they showed, I like him for her. Because I also feel like he's not here for the cameras. I feel like he's just a really quirky dude. And I kind of feel like Becca K tends to go for jocks when she needs to be going for, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, she needs to be going for nerds, because I feel like that's more her speed. And I'm not hating on nerds. Nerds are billionaires, honey, okay? Them jocks turn into Walmart managers. There's nothing wrong with being a manager at Walmart, but honey, you better check for that nerd because they doing big things, okay? Donna Glover was a nerd, still is. Look at him now. So there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like from everybody that came out, I liked him the most for her. I don't know. I just felt like there was something there. I don't know. This is just my first impression. Then the third one was that grimy brother. No. Darius or whatever, the one that came out licking his lips. I was like, absolutely not, Becca, because I feel like, one, he's going to be an embarrassment for my people. And I don't need another Josiah. No shade to Josiah, but he got on TV acting a fool. And then Blake, who I feel like personality-wise, he's a good fit for Becca and her family, and I think her family would embrace him. Like, that's a guy she could bring home, but I don't think that she's attracted to him. I don't see it. So, so far, the banjo dude and the first guy, I like them for Becca. So we'll see. We'll see about the rest of CN's Bachelors and how they do on Becca's season. Anyway, guys, it's getting a little long, and I have to upload this to YouTube for those of you who do not have Instagram. But thank you for talking to me. I had such a good time. I think what I'm going to do is incorporate more of these lives because I get a lot of information from you guys. I just have fun. It's really, really fun. Yes, Jess, nerds are the new Brad Pitt. Yes, get yourself a nerd. Leave them jocks alone. Ah. Yes, Harvey, me too. The banjo guy is in my top 5. I think he's going to do well. Darius, yes, Patty Devine. Darius is a no. Hi, Dominique. There's a Blake in every season. I love you too, Cleo. But I'm gonna cut this short. Well, not short, but I'm gonna just cut it so I can get ready to upload it for my YouTube people. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try to keep this up more often because I feel like this format is a little bit easier for me and I can connect with you guys right away. So I'm going to incorporate it a bit more, and I'll let you guys know a little earlier, but I'm just going to try to plan it out wisely. This is still pilot season, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead on and go and get ready, rest up, enjoy. I'll see you all soon for something else. Love you much. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Bye.